point, fed up with the homelessness crisis.
They spray paint the building, they've broken windows. This is an ongoing daily thing for us.
Business owners are struggling to keep customers. What's being done to help? Dozens of college students arrested as protests over the war in Gaza expand. The federal government now responding. Plus, Trump on trial. Why a judge is now threatening the former president with jail time. And new developments creating a new city in Solano County. The issue heading to the November ballot.
Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell. And tonight, tensions are rising on college campuses across the country as deadlines approach for them to clear encampments created in protest of the Israel-Hamas war. Many pro-Palestinian protesters are calling for their college to stop funding Israeli military operations, while some Jewish students have called the protests anti-Semitic and said they are scared for their safety. The Biden administration is urging students to express their ideas peacefully without disrupting fellow students. And House Speaker Mike Johnson says that he's backing a stricter response.
We called for the police to come in and take care of it. If they're unable, then we need the National Guard. This is not protected free speech. What this is doing is violating the rights of others. Jewish students who are merely on campus trying to get an education.
And take a look at just some of the protests today. We have a Columbia University video that captured protesters storming a building, smashing windows and barricading the doors with furniture. Columbia releasing a statement that those students could face expulsion. And then over at Yale, police moving in this morning to start removing an encampment. And then in New Orleans, Tulane University students continuing on their second day of protest. And then right here in California at Cal Poly Humboldt, law enforcement arresting dozens of people and securing the buildings. And then right here in Sacramento, people continue to protest, now entering day 2 of demonstration over at Sacramento State. ABC 10's Alicia Machado has the latest tonight.
Passing the 24-hour mark, protests continue at Sacramento State as students and community members call for justice in Palestine. They camped overnight occupying the library quad in a protest encampment.
I am a Arab Muslim, so when I see the people in Gaza, it's like, I'm seeing my own family.
The group called Students for Justice in Palestine is calling on the California State University Board of Trustees and the CSU Chancellor to divest from Israel, disclose institutional investments, and grant amnesty for protesting students. Despite the protest, classes and operations are continuing on campus. The protest catching the eyes of students passing by.
We've been seeing it a lot at other campuses, so it's cool that we joined in. And as long as it stays non-violent, I think it's cool.
I like how it's peaceful. It's spreading awareness about what's going on overseas.
The demonstration concerning some Jewish and Israeli students at Sac State, including third-year Eli Sirak.
Seeing it come here has definitely made some of us worried, some of us even fearful, because we've seen how these protests have devolved in other college campuses to displays of anti-Semitism, to hate.
The demonstration also drawing others out to campus.
People who disagree with us, we could still have respectful conversations as well.
Voices need to be heard, but honestly, in my opinion, I feel like there's better ways to do it. I feel like this could lead to some arguments, and I just feel like it's going to lead to things that we don't want to happen on this campus.
We saw some graffiti on campus, but organizers say the taggers are not associated with their group. The encampment combined of a mix of Sacramento State students and non-student community members. Sac State says they notified a student representative of the group that they'll allow demonstrators to stay until midnight May 1st. If the camp is still there, the university will then reassess.
We are steadfast, and we will stay here until our goals are met.
In a statement to ABC 10, CSU administration said in part, California State University does not intend to alter existing investment policies related to Israel or the Israel-Hamas conflict.
And this week, the House is set to vote on clarifying the definition of anti-Semitism in order to further enforce anti-discrimination laws. The Biden administration says that it is watching developments across college campuses carefully. And this is just in from New York City. Officers have began entering Columbia University as protesters remain on campus. This is something we will continue to follow. All right, now to the homelessness crisis. It is a big and complex problem that is completely impossible to ignore. We've been hearing from local business owners in recent months who say the crisis is literally at their doorsteps and they're fed up. Tonight, Becca Habegger speaks with one of them, asks the city to respond, and hears from an advocate who says the blame is often misplaced.
Inside South Sacramento's Golden Corral restaurant, customers enjoy food and family.
I'm calling the police.
But outside the restaurant on a recent evening, a raucous fight raged in the parking lot.
Right here, the general manager was leaving, and as she rounded the corner to go get to her car, there was a full-blown brawl. They were swinging on each other. They had bats. I mean, this is a family restaurant.
Mike Sacca owns this Golden Corral and the land it sits on along West Stockton Boulevard near 99 and Cosumnes River Boulevard.
We haven't really regained back from COVID, and so in addition to that, now we have this homeless camp that's given us another challenge to keep the doors open.
Sacca says this part of town is no stranger to encampments, but he calls the response to them a matter of whack-a-mole.
They do uproot them, and then they'll be gone for a while, then they come back.
Recently, in this field across from his restaurant, which he says is causing problems.
I've definitely kicked a lot of them off my property for opening car doors and bothering the patrons. They'll come up and yell and scream at people. They spray paint the building. They've broken windows. This is an ongoing daily thing for us.
ABC 10 found one review on Google that said homeless are moving in front of the restaurant, looks dirty. Another on Yelp said, beware, across the street is a huge homeless camp and looks like a tent city. Sacca estimates he spent more than $8,000 in recent years cleaning up and repairing vandalism and messes from those living on the streets.
They did break in the back one time. I had to repair the door. They broke into the boiler room.
He says he feels the city is giving him the runaround and not solving the problem.
They'll say, oh, well, that's county, and then I'll call county, and they say, oh, well, that's city. And so there's a lot of buck passing going on. We actually try to contact like 311, and we've talked to the police, the sheriff, and trying to get somebody to help us out with this.
So he reached out to ABC 10.
I just decided I've got to say something to somebody to try to save my business. We supply jobs for over 50 families, better part of $600,000 a year in taxes. So if they're okay with this closing down and allowing for that to go on, I mean, I don't think that that's right.
The city told ABC 10 in a statement, in part, the city is aware of Mr. Sacca's concerns and communicated with him earlier this month to let him know that 311 is the best place to report an issue regarding an encampment. 311 call data show more than 250 calls for service in the past 4 years at Golden Corral and the immediately surrounding properties, most classified as relating to homeless encampments. 19 of those calls came in the last month alone. Advocates for people experiencing homelessness say clearing or sweeping an encampment can be traumatic for the people living there.
While someone might want to see one encampment gone or another encampment gone, people are going to continue to exist in public space because they don't have a viable alternative.
Nikki Jones is executive director of the Sacramento Regional Coalition to End Homelessness, as well as a member of the Sacramento Homeless Organizing Committee. She says homelessness is the product of a broken system.
This is a policy failure on the part of city, county, state, and federal government, and we need to put that blame where it belongs.
All right, Becca Haubecker with us right now. We know this is a very heated topic, but you did reach out to the city. What did they kind of say about what they plan on doing about this?
Well, Alex, we've reported on something called the Incident Management Team, launched last year. It combines the fire department, city, police, and Department of Community Response, among other agencies, to enable a more unified, streamlined approach to addressing homelessness. Well, the city tells me the team has spent extensive time in that whole neighborhood, and that remains a high priority, saying in part the IMT expects to again dispatch personnel to this area in the coming days to conduct outreach and compliance work. And Alex, the city says it's the county that can connect people with mental health and substance abuse services. So the city says the two local governments are working together to address this issue.
Yeah, we know the city and county, they have really been trying to work together to address this, right, and something we'll continue to follow. All right. Speaking of encampments, tonight the clock is ticking for the self-governed homeless encampment, Camp Resolution, to leave their Colfax Street location. They have until May 16th to move out. Today, in a joint statement, Mayor Steinberg and Council Member Chantal proposed that the city pursue, quote, a real lasting solution for this group by declaring the Colfax site surplus and exploring the possibility of transferring it to an affordable housing developer like Safe Ground Sacramento. It comes as the Sacramento Homeless Union is set to meet on Thursday to release new data about the camp and give updates on the legal fight to keep this site as a place for the camp. So we will keep you updated as we learn more. Still ahead on To the Point, the future of a new city in Solano County, how the plan could soon go before voters.
And I'm tracking winds that will increase tonight through tomorrow, the wind advisory in effect, and the showers for the weekend.
Plus, former President Trump slammed with a fine after violating a gag order. The latest from the court and the punishment he could face. All right, another beautiful day. A little windy, though, I have to say.
Yeah,
but it's still sunny.
Yeah, breezy, especially in the morning. And then now we're going to start to see those winds really kick up overnight tonight through tomorrow. So we just got a little bit of a taste of what's to come over the past couple of days. Wind advisory goes into place at 11 o'clock. That takes us all the way through 5 o'clock tomorrow with wind gusts up to about 45 miles per hour. In terms of our current winds, 5 to 15 miles per hour coming in from the Pacific. And our temperatures warming into the upper 70s to near 80. 50s up top for this year. Beautiful day today, but rain not too far off here. Our future weather as we make our way through this evening, temperatures cooling into the 60s with overnight lows in the 50s. Here's the transition that takes place for tomorrow. Low pressure system moves off to the east, high pressure building in, and we're going to have that windy weather all the way through tomorrow. Breezy winds really overnight tonight through early tomorrow. So for the morning walk, it's going to be a breezy one. Allergy sufferers beware all the way through the noontime hour. And then those winds start to back off by tomorrow evening. And at that point, we'll be tracking the showers and the cooler weather moving in. That will hit us on Saturday. So if you're looking at one of the 2 days to get out for the weekend, Sunday's our best bet. Highs in the 50s tomorrow for the Sierra with 60s and 70s down the hill. Along the coast, we're looking at highs in the 60s to right around to 80 for inland areas. Those are dry and warming winds. So we're going to warm things up pretty dramatically here through the end of the work week. And then just like that, we're back to the cool and showery weather as we head into the beginning of the weekend. And you can see that dramatic drop there Friday into Saturday from the 80s to the 60s this weekend.
All right, another surprise in our forecast there. Thanks, Monica. Next, on To the Point, former President Donald Trump found in contempt, the punishments he's facing, and the new details released in court. Plus, the people behind a potential new city in Solano County say they have taken a big new step forward, getting on the November ballot. Welcome back. We're bringing you some breaking news. These are live images in New York City tonight. This is Columbia University. A large number of New York City police officers have officially entered the campus as protesters remain on campus and occupied in a building. Now, protests continue across the country tonight, opposing Israeli military action in Gaza and demanding that schools divest from companies they claim are profiting from the conflict. So take a look at this right here. You can see an NYPD police bus pulling up. What we have also been seeing in this live shot right here is officers moving student protesters outside of the building. So you can see a large media presence, large police presence as they are continuing to move some protesters outside of that building on Columbia University campus. So this is a very fluid situation. We will continue to follow this and bring you the most updated information both on air and online at abc10.com. Now to the latest on Trump's hush money trial. The former attorney of Stormy Daniels taking the stand, along with banker of Trump's former fixer, Michael Cohen. The judge also fining Trump for violating the gag order in the case and giving him a stern warning, even threatening jail time.
Former President Donald Trump slapped with a $9,000 fine in his hush money payment trial. The judge finding him in contempt of court for violating the gag order after he repeatedly slammed his former lawyer, Michael Cohen, and other witnesses. If he does it again, the judge warned he could be jailed. This afternoon, Trump removing the social media post cited by the judge. More witnesses taking the stand today in Donald Trump's historic hush money payment trial. The former attorney for adult film actress Stormy Daniels and former Playboy model Karen McDougal. Both say they had sexual relationships with Trump, which he denies. Keith Davidson testifying he played a central role in selling McDougal's story to the National Enquirer. Jurors shown text messages between Davidson and an editor at the publication. Davidson telling the editor he had, quote, a blockbuster Trump story. The publication paying McDougal $150,000. But in a deal with the Trump campaign, never had any intention of actually running it, according to prosecutors.
These witnesses are supposed to be bringing in evidence that the defense would not otherwise stipulate to. How NDAs work, how catch and kill operates. That's giving the jury an understanding of a world that they might not otherwise have understood coming into this trial.
Prosecutors say the Trump campaign also wanted to keep Daniels quiet. Cohen paying her $130,000 just days before the 2016 election, improperly calling it a legal expense.
This is a case that should never have been brought. It's a disgrace.
Trump has pleaded not guilty to charges of falsifying business records.
And Gary Farrow, Cohen's former banker, also testifying that in late 2016, Cohen was frantic about opening a new account. Prosecutors say just a day later, Cohen wired that hush money payment to Daniels from that account. And a new report is signaling that California is once again growing. A new estimate released today from Governor Gavin Newsom's administration says the state's population grew last year for the first time since 2019. It also says the state added more than 67,000 people in 2023. That's a 0.17% increase, and California's population declined for 3 years in a row, leading to the loss of a congressional seat back in 2020. Now California has an estimate of more than 39.1 million residents. Sacramento City Council has approved a new plan that could help lay the foundation for a new development in North Natomas. It's the area where the old Arco Arena used to sit. That may look a little familiar. The empty lot is expected to be the site of an innovation park, which will include 2,500 homes, a K-8 school, and a new teaching hospital. The plan approved today will help start the building of the streets, drainage, and other facilities. Tonight in Your Voice, Your Vote, a big announcement today from the group behind California Forever. They say that they have collected more than 20,000 signatures to put their proposed community on the November ballot out in Solano County. ABC 10's Devin Truby explains what comes next.
Over 20,000 Solano residents have signed the petition.
California Forever CEO Jan Schromick announcing Tuesday his organization has collected more than 20,000 signatures of the 13,000 needed to put their proposed city on the Solano County ballot in November. That so-called East Solano Homes, Jobs, and Clean Energy Initiative is a petition to build a new city in Solano County between Rio Vista and Travis Air Force Base. The group dropped off their signatures in these 39 boxes at the Solano County Registrar, leaving with this receipt for a submitted petition. Vacaville Vice Mayor Greg Ritchie supports the proposed city.
All about jobs, clean energy, and homes. So paramount important to our community.
The plan submitted to the registrar in February outlines a 39-square-mile city with 40,000 to 160,000 housing units for up to 400,000 residents. But first, the Solano County Registrar has 1 week to count all the signatures to make sure they have the 13,000. If correct, they have 5 weeks for verification number 2.
They cross that 13,062 amount. Then we'll go forward into the next step, which is a random review of 3%.
If they don't have 90% of the signatures approved, the process stops. 110% and they can move forward. If California Forever has the signatures they need, the initiative then goes to the Board of Supervisors.
One of the options, the board could just adopt it as the new ordinance and be done with it. They can assign it to an election, the next scheduled election, and then they can also request more time.
Solano County's Assistant Registrar for Voters, John Gardner, says there are only 2 ways the initiative doesn't move forward. They don't have enough signatures, or someone sues California Forever over their process, delaying it in court. A counter-ballot initiative to oppose them could also be launched. The Solano Together released a statement saying, in part, with the deep pockets of their billionaire backers, it comes as no surprise that California Forever gathered enough signatures for their initiative. We look forward to working with our thousands of allies in the community to defeat this dangerous initiative in November.
All right, in Folsom, a citizen-led group working to create a penny tax says that they have also collected enough signatures for it to qualify on the November ballot. The proposed tax would increase the city's current sales tax from 7.75% to 8.75%. And the money would go towards police, fire, parks, and other things like capital improvement projects. And the group has submitted the signatures for verification. If the tax appears on the ballot in November, the measure would need to pass a simple majority for it to pass. Next, on To the Point, a local Chinese restaurant just might be the oldest in the nation. May is Asian American and Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander Month, and coming up tomorrow on To the Point, the nation's oldest Chinese restaurant might just be sitting on Main Street in Woodland, at least according to a UC Davis law professor. Professor Gabriel Jack Chin and his team found evidence that Chicago Cafe in Woodland was established in 1903, and that makes it the oldest continually operating family-run Chinese restaurant in the U.S. The Chicago Cafe has been in the Fong family for 3 generations.
They clearly have a sense of the history, so they kept some of the old documents, old menus.
Tomorrow at 6:30, right here on To the Point, ABC 10's John Bartel introduces us to the Fong family and shows us why the restaurant has survived all these years in the same spot. It's a story you do not want to miss. And thank you so much for watching us and inviting us into your home tonight. If you have something that you think we should be looking into, make sure to reach out to me and the team. Remember, strangers are people you just haven't gotten a chance to meet yet. So take the time to get to know someone. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.